Good day, K-Man. It's me, Kenneth Bryan, your representative for the constituency of Georgetown Central. I know it's been a while since we had a one-to-one talk, but as you can imagine, things have been a bit busy as I'm trying to do my best to serve you in this new role you selected me for as a cabinet minister with the responsibility for tourism and transport. The purpose of this video is to talk to you about the pandemic and COVID-19. 2 years ago, most of us never even heard of the word COVID, but suddenly it entered our vocabulary and our environment, creating havoc, crushing economies and costing lives. Today, I want to talk to you about the way forward on a path that will allow us to live a life as close to normal as possible with COVID in our midst. I know that it's an uncomfortable conversation for most, and for others, it's a topic that you'd rather avoid. But it's a discussion that we have to be willing to have together as a community, because the truth is, we can't keep our borders closed forever. I think it's fair to say by now, most people realize it's only a matter of time before the government will have to make a very, very hard decision to say when our borders will fully reopen so that we can rekindle our tourism industry and prepare to re-engage with the rest of the world. I know for some, opening our borders is a scary thought because it comes with risk, and the notion of having COVID continuously in our communities is making people anxious and fearful. Given the seriousness of the disease, those are legitimate feelings because it's hard to think about living with a virus that can take someone's life. I think most of us already know that COVID is not going away, at least not for the foreseeable future. But thankfully, as data is being analyzed and time passes and we learn from our experiences, we're seeing and understanding that there are ways to live with COVID in a world, in a country, in a neighborhood, in a workplace, in a family, and in a school where COVID may be present. Like I said before, our borders can't stay closed forever, and I think most of us understand that. So the question is, how can we prepare for reopening when there is an invisible threat that scares us? The most important thing each of us can do for reopening is making sure that we are ready, mentally and physically, to share our space with this virus. Doing basic things like learning how to keep our bodies healthy, our immune system strong, and getting vaccinated are proven ways to keep us from getting seriously sick. I know many of you have questions and doubts about the vaccines that are available to us. I get it, and I understand. A lot has happened so fast, but sometimes in life, we're thrown curveballs and we have to take timely decisions based on experience, evidence, and advice that is available. And those are the kinds of decisions that we as leaders in government have to make sometimes. But you see, it's not only about us making the decisions. We as a country have to make this decision together. It's true that opening our borders comes with risk, but it's also true that risk can be managed and has to be managed because COVID isn't going away anytime soon. At some point, we have to be realistic and accept the fact that keeping our borders closed indefinitely just isn't an option. And I say that because for the last 18 months, we've been standing on just one of our two pillars of our economy. We need to regain our balance, stability, and strength by reintroducing tourism back into the mix. Close to 4,000 of our people are unemployed due to COVID-related job losses in tourism. Government is spending close to $6 million a month. That's $72 million a year, providing stipends, helping people make ends meet because the tourism industry is basically closed. And that figure can continue to increase if we stay closed. Our willingness as a country to learn to live safely with COVID in our midst will allow us to get those people back to work and give them back their independence so they can provide for themselves and their loved ones as they did before. If we're not willing to be our brother's keeper and come together as a community to make that decision, the potential losses of businesses and jobs can be catastrophic. The long-term implications will eventually ripple through our communities, touching us all in one way, shape, or form. As your government, we're doing our best to make sure that no one is left behind, but we can't continue to fill in the blanks indefinitely. The longer we remain unwilling to accept the inevitability of reopening, the more likely we'll slip into debt. Debt that may be passed on not just to the next administration, but the next generation. And I know none of us want that. So I'm asking you to look at your family and your friends and your neighbors and start to mentally and physically prepare yourselves to win in this battle against COVID. It's a battle that is trying to take away our livelihoods and our economy, but we can't let that happen. Winning against COVID means reflecting on your own personal life and beginning to make changes within your own mindset and within your families to be prepared for what we all know we have to do sooner or later. And that is learning to live safely and productively with this virus within our midst. If we're all prepared together, I know it's a battle that we will win and we must win, because winning means that our economy can become vibrant again. It means that our people can get back to work. It means that our government can focus more on other things, like reducing the cost of living, because our economy is back on track in respect to our revenues and our income. Winning against COVID means that we can look at ways to provide better and more affordable housing for our people, and at how we can address the cost of healthcare even though there is a virus in our midst. Winning means we can travel without using all of our vacation days on quarantine. The only way for us to do all of these things and so much more is to be prepared to reopen our borders and to reopen our economy, and to do it in a safe way together, so lives are not placed at risk. You can be confident that the PAC administration is doing all that we can to be prepared and to keep people safe. We have ensured that our healthcare system stands ready with the resources and equipment to respond to potential outbreaks, should that occur. Aggressive testing and contact tracing will improve our ability to control community spread. I know the recent incident of COVID in our schools caused us all to be nervous and to worry about our children, especially as they all can't be vaccinated as yet. But you can rest assured that we're working closely with schools as well as parents and teachers to put layers of protection around our precious children to keep them safe. Simple things like wearing masks, washing hands, and keeping social distance and getting vaccinated can add even more protection and should be practiced every day. If each one of us plays our part in government, in businesses, in schools, and in our homes, we can succeed in pushing through these difficult times and to reopen our borders with resilience, cohesion, and strength. In closing, there's one more thing I want to say, and that is I promise to always make the best decisions to keep you protected and to keep you in a position to be able to provide for yourselves and your loved ones. But you also have to protect your family by being prepared, and that's what this video is all about. Are you prepared? Let's get prepared, K-Man, together. Thank you for watching. I love you. May God bless you, and remember to take care of each other. K-Man first.